Hello there. My name is Adam. I come to you today to talk about something that could be very serious and potentially deadly for your feline. Today I'm going to talk about cats and hyperthyroidism. I'm going to use Pandora, one of our 9 cats, as an example who has hyperthyroidism. We also have another one, Rosemary, who has hyperthyroidism too, but this is Pandora's story today. So have you noticed your cat eating a lot but losing weight? Let's talk about that a little bit more. There are some early warning signs when it comes to hyperthyroidism, stuff that you'll see in the beginning and stuff that you definitely need to keep an eye on of your feline. One is increased appetite. You'll notice that they might be eating a lot more, whether it's dry food, wet food. You put some kibble down and you turn around and the food is gone. Now, something usually going with that, attributed with it, they're eating more, but they're also losing weight. You're seeing them a little bit more skinny around the hips. They just don't look the same. Their face is skinny. Maybe you have a scale at home and you can weigh them and you're noticing weight loss. Some other early warning signs of hyperthyroidism for felines is they tend to drink and pee more. Sometimes they will vomit and have diarrhea. Typically, they become more hyperactive. They're running around a lot. They're meowing a lot. But sometimes it can be the opposite, where they have a lack of energy, such as Pandora. Their coat might change over time. It could become more matty, more greasy, just kind of look off or look a little dull. They could have, as I mentioned before, increased meowing, or they could also be meowing less. There are behavioral changes that you need to look for, such as aggression. They could become more food aggressive. They could be more aggressive around your other cats or dogs. They also may not be sleeping at night, so you might be hearing them meowing incessantly during the nighttime. Now, these are the early warning signs, and unfortunately, if you do not treat these and you do not take your cat to the vet, there is serious consequences with organ failure and damage that will occur, especially with the liver, the kidneys, the eyes, and the heart. Now, for Pandora, she's still having a little bit of liver issues. Her kidneys are good, her eyes are good, and her heart is good. However, what did develop, though, over time, with her, she got high blood pressure, so she is on a high blood pressure medicine still. The next thing we are going to talk about, once you start to see some of these early warning signs, let's talk about what your next steps would be, and that would be taking your kitty to the vets. Usually after you notice 2 or 3 of these symptoms or signs over a week or 2, it's definitely time to take them to the vets. What will happen at the vet, they'll do a physical exam. They'll listen to the heart to make sure there's nothing going on with the heart murmur is possible. They also could have a rapid heart rate, so they will check that. They'll also check the eyes to make sure that they're not dilated. Often what happens, that damage with the eyes, they'll become dilated, and that's where also high blood pressure medicine would be prescribed. They might also check the blood pressure to make sure that there is no high blood pressure. Again, medicine would be involved with that. Typically, they will also order a full panel of blood work. I would just definitely make sure that the T4 in particular test is involved. You probably want to write any questions beforehand that you might have for your vet, and you also might want to mark any behavioral changes that you see. I would write it down just in case you don't forget. The next thing we're going to get onto are going to be treatment options. Now, there are typically 4 treatment options for this particular disease. The first one is just a simple food change. What'll need to happen is you'll need to, if possible, go to canned or raw food. That's better because they have less carbs. The problem with dry food, if you keep them on dry food, just basic dry food, is they have way too many carbs. And carbs is not good because what's going to happen, they're going to eat, they're going to burn that energy quickly, and then they're going to keep on eating. So they're going to be in this constant cycle of needing to eat, and eat. So you need something that has more protein, less carbs, high in fat usually. Also, try to stay away, avoid fish as much as possible because fish has more iodine, which produces thyroxine, which is a hormone, a thyroid hormone, and that's just going to make it worse overall for your kitty. Now, most of the time, unfortunately, food change, a diet change is not going to be enough. So you're likely going to have to add a thyroid medication called feline. There are pros and cons to this. The biggest con could be that you can't pill your cats. That is a problem because the cat needs this medicine to control their thyroid. Now, another thing with this medication, once they start on it, typically about every 2 to 4 weeks for the first 3 months or so, they will need to get retested to make sure that the meds are actually controlling the disease. The cons of medication is they were going to have to be on it for the rest of their life. It's costly over the lifetime of the cat's life, depending on how old the kitty is when diagnosed. Also, unfortunately, this medication does not cure the tumor in the thyroid. It will continue to grow. The next potential route as far as treatment goes is surgery. Surgery can be effective if they get all of the tumor out the first time. Often, though, what happens is there's going to be multiple surgeries, or if they miss part of it or don't get all of it, then they're going to have to go back and go do another surgery. The complications with doing a surgery are the cat's going to have to go under sedation. And because these kitties typically have a higher rapid heartbeat, putting them under sedation is risky. So it's also costly. It's about $2,000 or so to $3,000 from what I've seen. Now, the route that we went with Pandora originally was food and meds, but she was rapidly losing weight. So bad, in fact, that we had to syringe feed her quite often to keep her weight up. Also, despite the fact that carbs are not good, we had to also give her more carbs to get into her system. It's almost like a game we're playing here. You got to get enough food in where it's going to counter how much food is being burned, how much calories are being burned, because her metabolism is so overclocked. It's just like a race. What we wound up doing for her, though, and we are glad that we did, is called the I-131 radiation treatment. What it involves is it gets hospitalized for 3 days, depending on where you live. Sometimes it's 1 day, sometimes it's up to 2 weeks. But ours were 3 days out here in North Carolina for Pandora. They get a radiation dose shot. It goes in their bloodstream. It goes up to their thyroid, and it eradicates that tumor and those cancerous tissues that might have developed also. It can be a little expensive. Ours cost $1,500 for her, but it's well worth it, and it includes quite a bit. The one con with the I-131 treatment, one of the cons is the cat is still radioactive, so you're still dealing with some radiation even after the hospitalization of 3 days. So what you need to do whenever they pee and poop, because that's how they're excreting the radioactive material, is through their urine and through their poop. So what you have to do is scoop and store their litter for up to usually about 3 months or so. So that is one of the main cons as far as the I-131 treatment, but I would definitely recommend that. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comment section. I would be happy to answer. Typically, though, once that treatment is done, the thyroid will become normal again, as it has for Pandora so far. She just had a recent blood test, and her thyroid level is 1. Typical, you'd need to be from 1 to 5, so she's doing better with that now. But as far as prevention goes, unfortunately, there really is no prevention for this disease. It's just something that recent studies are showing. It could be in the carpet. It could be in the lining of canned food, like the pop-top canned food, like the stuff that you'll find in the grocery store. So unfortunately, there really is no prevention for it. Unless you just feed your cat raw diet and you don't have any canned food, then you're less likely. But still, it's just something that's just going to happen probably if you have enough cats. We have 9. I would say some of the must-haves for this particular disease is a variety of cat food, because your cat may become finicky with what they're eating. They may just not want to eat something, so you got to try different things, different times of the day. You might need to have to syringe feed, so you have to get syringes. Syringe feeding is not easy. It's not necessarily recommended, but the cat has to have food in their system to survive and to live, right? Another thing, as I mentioned earlier, would be a scale, a baby scale. You can get these at Amazon for about $20 or $30. To me, it's important and going to be a good idea to track the weight of the kitty. We have it for all of our cats. We don't track all their weight, but it's just something that's a good idea to have. That's pretty much the biggest must-haves as far as I know. I hope you found some valuable information in here. And if it's something that you feel like you have more questions about, then please feel free to comment. Share this video to other cat parents, cat lovers, those who are thinking about getting cats. And if you have a hyperthyroidic kitty yourself, your cat has hyperthyroidism, I'd love for you to, in the comment section, let me know, and I'd love to talk to you more about it. If you're going through this, you are not alone. There are others out there that have gone through this before. Thyroidism is a horrible disease. It's insidious. It's awful. There's nothing worse to me. We've had cats with kidney failure. We've had cats with diabetes. We've had cats have cancer. But this hyperthyroidism is god-awful. It's the worst. But know that you're not alone. We're here for you. So I hope you found value, and I hope that in this video, and just leave a comment and let me know what you think about your cats, if they have hyperthyroidism, or maybe they have some other disease that I'd love to talk about and maybe make a future video on. Till then, God bless. Take care. Goodbye.